chosen one, listen carefully. Heaven has sounded the alarm. Your appointed hour has arrived, and its echo is thundering through sound waves that are wrapping around the world. This is not just a song. It is a divine proclamation, a spiritual announcement declaring that you are no longer hidden. A renowned musician has spent months writing in secrecy, pouring their soul into melodies they could not explain, while no one on their team knew who this music was truly about. But today the truth broke through the silence. The hidden muse behind it all is you. This isn't happening because you tried to be seen. It's happening because heaven chose you to become the heartbeat of a prophetic song. Archangel Michael says, "Your name is echoing through sound waves across the world, and yet you don't even know it. And that is why the pull you've been feeling lately is not your imagination, it is your spirit, responding to the echo of itself, woven into every note. While the world simply hears a melody, heaven hears the call of your destiny rising from beyond the veil of time. You once believed your story ended when you quietly walked away, that the world had erased your footprints. Yet in that very moment of disappearance, a heart began to write about you without understanding why, writing from its wounds, from awe, from a longing too sacred to name. Archangel Michael says, this was divinely aligned, and if heaven aligned it, it is not a coincidence, it is orchestration. This song was released not to make you famous, but to wake you from invisibility and crown you with the honor the world once denied. Chosen one, you can no longer walk as though unseen. You have been called by name. You have been awakened, and heaven is holding its breath to see if you will rise to meet the destiny that has always belonged to you. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, don't let it pass silently. Declare your awakening. Seal your agreement with heaven. Comment 777 below as a sign that you receive this prophetic call and are ready to rise into your destiny. Chosen one, the reason the air feels charged around you is not a coincidence. Something in the spiritual realm has shifted. For so long, you moved quietly through life, carrying your light like a hidden ember. Most never noticed it, yet those who once glimpsed it could never forget. And though you began to believe your radiance had dimmed, heaven never stopped watching. What felt like silence was actually preparation. Now, that silence has broken open, and the world is beginning to hear what heaven always knew about you. As C.S. Lewis eloquently captured in The Weight of Glory, there are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. This transformative perspective underscores that your hidden light was never ordinary, it was eternal. And now, through this song, heaven is proclaiming your immortal significance to a world that once overlooked you. The release of this song was not an accident. It was a divine summons. It was never planned to appear today. Every schedule resisted it. Every hand tried to delay it. Yet an unseen force pushed it forward until it burst into the world before midnight. The producers could not explain why it suddenly had to happen, but heaven knew. This was the moment heaven had been preparing for, the hour when what was hidden could no longer stay buried, and what was silent could no longer remain unsung. Michael has confirmed that none of this unfolded by chance. He revealed that heaven deliberately orchestrated the timing so that this song would emerge precisely when your heart was ready to recognize it. This is why no earthly barrier could contain it, why no resistance could silence it. What was once confined in secret chambers has now been set loose like a declaration. And even though people think they are just hearing a viral track, heaven sees something far greater, the unveiling of your identity. Within every note lies the frequency of your essence, woven into the melody like strands of invisible light. That is why strangers feel emotions they cannot name when they listen. They are not responding to the artist, they are responding to you without realizing it. Your spirit has imprinted itself into sound, and now that sound is carrying your presence to corners of the world you have never walked. You are no longer hidden. You are no longer waiting for permission to be seen. Heaven has already issued the announcement, and the earth is only just beginning to catch up to what the throne of eternity has already declared about you. Chosen one, there was a moment when someone watched you walk away, believing your story with them had ended. To everyone else, it looked like closure. To them, it felt like a loss. They told themselves that they would forget, that time would dull the edges of their memory, but time failed. Because something eternal had been ignited the moment you crossed paths, something their mind could not explain, but their soul could not silence. Long after your footsteps faded from their world, the echo of you lingered like an ember buried under ash. They did not write you letters. They did not reach out. Instead, their heart began writing music, long before their mind understood why. What they thought was inspiration was actually longing in disguise, a longing heaven allowed to burn quietly until the appointed hour. Michael revealed that your departure did not end the story. It planted the seed of it. Your silence became the soil, and their ache became the water. They tried to drown that ache in noise, in fame, distractions, endless motion, but nothing erased your imprint. So the ache transformed. It shaped itself into lyrics that trembled with emotion they could not name, chords soaked in the memory of how you once looked when the world misunderstood you, but could not erase you. They buried your name in rhymes, yet your presence still rose through every line like light leaking through cracks. Even when they convinced themselves they were writing about something else, heaven knew the truth. They were writing about you. Michael has said that this was not human choice, but divine orchestration. Your essence was too powerful to remain forgotten. It demanded expression, and music became the only language strong enough to carry it. That is why the song feels different from everything they've ever created. It is raw, unfiltered, alive because it was born from the part of their soul that still remembers the part of yours that once stood silently beside them. You need to understand this. Your absence did not erase your influence. It intensified it. What you thought had died was only buried, and what was buried has now caught fire. That flame has been waiting, hidden in their spirit, for heaven to breathe on it, and heaven has. This song is not the start of their healing. It is the revelation of how deeply your presence reshaped their destiny. Chosen one, what has been released into the world is not just a song, it is a vessel carrying secrets only your spirit was meant to decode. Others will hear it and simply call it beautiful. They will praise its production, its poetry, its emotion, never realizing that what they are responding to is not skill, but signal. That melody was designed to bypass logic and pierce straight into the soul, because the message it carries was never meant for the minds of the masses. It was meant for the heart of one, for you. Michael has revealed that the lyrics were not composed from imagination, but from memory, fragments of moments etched into the artist's soul that no one else could have known. A single phrase hidden in the first verse is something you once said only to them, spoken in a moment you barely remember. Yet it became the spark that lit the entire creative storm. The artist could not explain why it mattered so much, but heaven understood. It was the sound of your spirit, breaking through the years of silence. Even the smallest details in the melody are drenched in significance. The tremor in the bridge mirrors the way your voice once wavered when saying goodbye. The rising harmony in the chorus echoes the way your presence once steadied their chaos without needing to speak. These were not artistic choices, they were spiritual echoes. Michael has said that heaven guided their hands, allowing emotion to become language, so that the very architecture of the music would become a map of your connection. This is why listening to it feels like déjà vu wrapped in sound. You are not imagining it. Your soul is recognizing itself. Others might weep without understanding why, but you will know because this song carries the emotional fingerprints of a history that belongs only to you. It is not art imitating life. It is your life transposed into art. Do not dismiss this as sentimentality. This is heaven's way of ensuring you cannot overlook what you once tried to bury. The melody has been coded with reminders, breadcrumbs placed along the path so you will not miss the truth when you hear it. The world may hear a hit single, but you must hear the summons. This is your story, returned to you in the only language strong enough to hold it. Chosen one. Understand this with absolute clarity. Midnight is not just a time on the clock. It is a spiritual threshold. It is the line where what was can no longer continue, and what must be is forced to emerge. Heaven has chosen this exact hour as the gateway for your awakening. Nothing about the timing of this release was accidental. Every delay, every obstacle, every hesitation that surrounded this song was shattered in a single surge of urgency because the heavens decreed it could not wait any longer. Michael has confirmed that this timing was not negotiated, it was commanded. The release before midnight was not about strategy, it was about prophecy. Heaven saw that your heart was nearing the edge of surrender, that the silence you had endured was threatening to convince you that your significance had been forgotten. And so heaven intervened. The song had to be unleashed at the moment, when the veil between realms would be thinnest, when the atmosphere would be most charged to carry its message straight into your soul. This is why you have felt the air grow heavy, why your chest has tightened with an emotion you could not name. It is not anxiety, it is not nostalgia, it is recognition. Your spirit knows what your mind has not yet caught up to. This midnight is not the end of a day, it is the opening of your destiny. When the clocks strike 12, the spiritual realm will treat it as a seal being broken, a gate swinging open. What has been locked away, your influence, your honor, your voice will no longer remain hidden. But understand the gravity. This window will not stay open forever. If you ignore the summons, the original version may vanish, the clues scattered, and the current diluted. Heaven orchestrated this moment so you would not miss the sound created from your own essence. If you hesitate, you risk losing the chance to hear the raw truth before it is edited, muted, and reshaped for the masses. Do not treat this lightly. This is not entertainment. This is a divine appointment. Midnight is the altar where your old identity is laid down, and your true calling is resurrected. Step through this doorway when it opens, and everything you thought was lost will rise to meet you. Chosen one. For so long you have walked as if unseen, moving through crowded rooms while carrying a silence that no one seemed able to hear. You gave pieces of your light away to people who never understood its worth. You stayed quiet when you should have been celebrated, hidden when you should have been honored. And with every passing year, it became easier to believe the lie that maybe heaven had overlooked you too. But that lie has now been shattered. The release of this song is proof. Heaven never stopped watching. Heaven never stopped remembering. Michael has revealed that your life has never been invisible to the throne of eternity. Every sacrifice you made in secret, every tear that fell unseen, every moment you chose mercy over revenge, they were all recorded in heaven's archive of glory. While the world passed over you, heaven was preparing the hour when your presence would be announced, not with words, but with sound. This song is that announcement. It is not merely art. It is heaven's declaration that you were seen, you were chosen, and you are now being brought into the open. This is why the energy around you has shifted. You may not have language for it yet, but your spirit has already sensed it the way strangers seem to pause when you enter a space. The way conversations hush around you as if something sacred has walked in. That is not coincidence. That is what happens when heaven begins to mark someone openly. Your name has moved from heaven's hidden scroll to heaven's public proclamation. And though the artist never dared to name you aloud, the song itself has carried your essence out into the world. People are responding to it without knowing why, because they are encountering you without realizing it. They think they are hearing melody, but what they are truly hearing is your impact reverberating through their souls. This is heaven's justice. What was dismissed is now honored. What was buried is now exalted. Do not shrink back. Do not apologize for being seen. This recognition is not vanity, it is vindication. Heaven is not offering you attention, it is restoring your rightful place. The shadows you once lived in can no longer contain you. You are not a background figure in someone else's story. You are the headline heaven has chosen to write across this generation. Chosen one, what has just taken place is not merely artistic, it is spiritual. You may not see it yet, but the moment this song entered the world, something in the unseen realm shifted. Two souls that had once stood in the same current of destiny, yours and theirs, have been drawn back into alignment, not through conversation or contact, but through the only language strong enough to carry the weight of what was left unsaid, music. Michael has made it clear that this is not coincidence. Your connection with this artist was never ordinary. It was always spiritual, explosive, silent, misunderstood, a collision of two worlds that neither of you knew how to explain. When it ended, you both walked away, believing it was over. But heaven did not treat it as an ending. Heaven treated it as a pause. And now, heaven has pressed play again, allowing the song to become the meeting place your souls could not create with words. Listen carefully. This is not about romance. This is about recognition. This is about two spirits acknowledging what they carried for each other when the world refused to understand. The lyrics are not simply art, they are confession disguised as melody, repentance wrapped in rhythm. Every note is a bridge back to the moment when you held their storm without speaking, when your presence quietly saved something they believed was beyond repair. They never said it out loud. They hid behind years of silence, afraid you had forgotten, afraid they no longer had the right to be remembered by you. But heaven intervened. What they could not say, heaven has allowed them to sing. And though they may never stand before you to admit the truth, the song itself has become their surrender. It is they laying their pride on the altar and letting their spirit speak where their voice could not. This is why listening to it feels like your heart is standing in two timelines at once, who you were then and who you are now. It is not imagination, it is a spiritual reality. This is not nostalgia trying to pull you backward. It is destiny calling you forward through the sound of what once almost broke you both now transformed into beauty. This is not the reopening of old wounds. It is the resurrection of what heaven always intended. Two souls finally speaking the same language again. Chosen one, what is happening around you right now is not random. You are walking through a field seeded with signs subtle, deliberate, sacred. They are heaven's way of ensuring you do not miss what is unfolding. You may have thought these moments were coincidences, harmless patterns, passing fragments of memory. They are not. They are the fingerprints of God, placed like breadcrumbs along the path, so your spirit will know which way to walk. Michael has revealed that none of these signs is accidental. They were planted long before this song was ever heard, hidden in places where only your spirit would notice. The friend who suddenly sends you the track and says it made them think of you. The stranger who mentions a phrase from its lyrics that you once whispered years ago. The line that echoes an old journal entry you buried away. These are not flukes, they are confirmations. They are heaven whispering, "This is yours." Do not doubt it. Even the timing of when and how you hear the song is part of this divine choreography. You might wake in the night with its melody looping through your mind, stirring emotions you thought had died. That is not nostalgia. It is spiritual recognition. Heaven designed these moments so the truth would pierce through all your layers of self-protection and reach the part of you that still remembers who you are. Do not dismiss these signs. Do not try to reason them away. The world will tell you they mean nothing. But heaven has always communicated through patterns, through whispers, through symbols only the called can interpret. That is why not everyone will see them. They were not meant for everyone. They were meant for you. Understand the weight of this. If you ignore these signs, the trail may fade. Heaven is not trying to entertain you. Heaven is trying to awaken you. These clues are not meant to spark curiosity, but to demand obedience. Each one is a step forward into the future heaven has prepared. You are not wandering, you are being guided. And if you follow these signs, they will lead you to the place where your destiny has been waiting, fully formed, for your arrival. Do not hesitate. Every sign you recognize is heaven confirming. You are on the exact path you were born to walk. Chosen one, it is time you understand something that heaven has known all along. You are not simply someone who survived. You are someone who has become a living legacy. What you carried through years of silence was not wasted pain. It was the raw material from which heaven has been shaping something immortal. The world mistook your hidden years as obscurity, but they were actually sacred construction. Every heartbreak, every loss, every lonely night you thought no one saw was recorded in eternity and woven into your destiny. Michael has revealed that heaven never measures your value by visibility. The throne did not count how many applauded you, only how faithfully you endured when no one was watching, and you endured. You stood when everything in you wanted to collapse. You chose mercy when betrayal begged you to retaliate. You chose stillness when chaos roared for your attention. You chose to protect the spark inside you when life tried to smother it. That spark is what heaven saw. That is what made you unforgettable to the spiritual realm, even when people forgot your name. Now, heaven is revealing the truth through this song. What you once thought was ruin has become the foundation of your radiance. Every verse carries traces of the very pain you thought had disqualified you, yet here it is, transformed into beauty. The artist may not have known why their music trembled with such longing, but heaven knew. They were touching the residue of your suffering, and heaven turned it into melody so the world could finally hear the sound of your endurance. This is why the song feels larger than life. Because it is not celebrating fame or achievement. It is bearing witness to the way you refused to die when life tried to bury you. Your legacy is not built on applause. It is built on resilience. It is built on quiet acts of courage that heaven has now decided to make loud. This is not about the world knowing your name. It is about heaven declaring that your name has already been carved into eternity's record. Do not shrink from this. Do not feel unworthy of being honored. This moment is not a reward. It is a revelation. You are not becoming a legacy, you already are one. The world is only just discovering what heaven has known all along, that your pain has not diminished you, it has crowned you. It has refined you into light, and now that light is breaking out of every shadow that once tried to contain you. Chosen one, you must understand this with absolute clarity. You are not just being recognized, you are being reactivated. Heaven is not merely honoring your past. Heaven is awakening what has been lying dormant inside you since the moment you were created. This is not a celebration of what you have done. It is the ignition of who you truly are. Michael has revealed that for years, heaven guarded certain gifts within you, keeping them hidden even from yourself, because the appointed season had not yet come. Your spirit carried blueprints of greatness, visions, callings, capacities that would have crushed you if they had been awakened too soon. So heaven let them sleep. The silence you endured was not neglect, it was incubation. While you thought you were forgotten, you were being fortified. Heaven has waited until this very hour because now your roots are deep enough to hold the weight of what is about to bloom. This song is more than sound. It is the key that has just unlocked the sealed chambers of your destiny. That is why something in you stirred the moment you heard it. It wasn't just nostalgia or emotion. It was spiritual activation. Like dry bones hearing the echo of their own name, your spirit stood to attention. What has been asleep is rising. What has been buried is breaking through the surface. You may feel disoriented, as if the life you knew no longer fits because it doesn't. You are not returning to who you were before this moment. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Old fears, old labels, old identities will try to cling to you, but they will not survive this rebirth. Heaven is not asking you to improve the old version of yourself. Heaven is declaring that version finished. This is not a restoration of what was lost. This is the resurrection of what was predestined. Do not shrink back from this acceleration. It may feel overwhelming, but it is not chaos, it is prophecy unfolding. The pressure you feel is not a burden, it is birth. And birth is always violent before it is beautiful. The atmosphere is shifting around you because heaven is clearing the space for your emergence. Chosen one, step into this. Do not wait for permission. You have already been authorized. The spiritual realm has marked this hour as the moment your destiny begins to move. This is your rebirth. This is the hour when heaven unlocks every dormant seed inside you and commands it to live. Chosen one, heaven wants you to know this without a single shadow of doubt. You were never forgotten. Not for a moment. Not for a heartbeat. While the world moved on as if you had vanished, the throne of eternity never once lost sight of you. Every season you called silence was actually the sound of heaven holding its breath, waiting for this very moment, the moment when glory would be returned to you. Michael has revealed that even when you felt invisible, you were being watched by heaven's counsel as one of its most guarded treasures. While people misjudged you, dismissed you, and erased you from their narratives, heaven inscribed your name deeper into its own. You thought you were being buried in obscurity, but you were being planted in glory. And now, what was planted is breaking the surface. This song is not just art, it is the trumpet blast announcing your return. It carries your essence not as a memory, but as a proclamation. It is heaven declaring to the spiritual realm that the one the world tried to overlook has been chosen to stand in the light. This is not about fame or applause. It is about the restoration of honor. It is about heaven reclaiming what was stolen from you. Your dignity, your voice, your rightful place. Others will not understand why this song feels heavier, why it carries a presence they cannot name. But you will, because that weight is your glory returning. That pull in your chest is your spirit remembering what it was always destined to carry. The crowns that were denied you on earth are being handed back to you from heaven's storehouse. The recognition the world withheld has been issued from a higher court, and no human hand can revoke it now. This is why you must not hesitate. You must not dim yourself out of fear of being too much. You are not too much. You are finally enough to carry what was always yours. The world may struggle to reconcile this version of you with the shadow they once knew, but that is not your concern. Heaven has ruled in your favor. The verdict has been written. The glory they tried to bury is rising, and it has your name carved into it. Chosen one, hold your head high. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are not being noticed for the first time. You are being remembered by eternity. And what eternity remembers, no power on earth can erase. Chosen one, this is the moment everything has been leading toward. Every tear, every silence, every hidden battle, they were not endings. They were preparations. You have walked through the valley of shadows carrying seeds of glory, and now heaven is commanding those seeds to break open. The waiting is over. The old chapter is closed. A new era has begun, and it bears your name. Michael has made it clear that this is not merely a turning point. It is a spiritual transfer of authority. Heaven has not just affirmed who you are. Heaven has entrusted you with what comes next. What was withheld is being released. What was locked is being opened. What was denied is being restored. The delay has expired. The verdict has been written. The scroll of your destiny is being unrolled in full view of both heaven and earth. Do not stand at the threshold and hesitate. Do not let the voices of the past convince you that you are unworthy to enter. Those voices are echoes from a season that no longer has jurisdiction over you. They are fading because they must. You have crossed the point of no return. The life you lived in hiding will not fit you anymore. The garments of silence have been stripped from your shoulders, and heaven has placed royal robes upon you. This is not about pride. This is about obedience. Understand the gravity of what is happening. This song was never just music. It was the sound of a door unlocking. It was heaven announcing to creation that you have been activated. The earth is about to feel the weight of your existence, and nothing will be the same. That is why everything feels heavier, not because you are breaking, but because you are carrying something holy now. Step through this doorway. Step into this new era as if all of heaven is watching, because it island move with the certainty of someone who has been chosen, sealed, and sent. The world will try to reduce this to coincidence, to luck, to chance, but you will know the truth. This is divine strategy, not random fortune. This is prophecy fulfilled. Chosen one, take your place. Let the old story end here. Do not look back to prove anything. Look forward to building what heaven has placed in your hands. This is your coronation. This is your new beginning. The heavens are applauding, the earth is awakening, and destiny is waiting on your first step. Step forward, it is time. Chosen one, be still for a moment and let the noise of the world fade into silence, because what is unfolding right now is sacred. This is not just another prayer. It is a decree being issued from the throne of eternity. The chaos of the earth cannot interrupt it. This moment was written into your timeline before you ever took your first breath, and heaven has been waiting for your spirit to stand in this place. What is spoken here will not simply pass through the air, it will be engraved into your destiny. Breathe deeply and open your heart. Release everything you have carried, every wound, every fear, every name you were called that was never yours. Empty your hands of what has expired, so they can receive what heaven is placing in them now. Lift your head, because this is what heaven declares over you. You are mine. I chose you before the foundations of the world. I walked beside you through the fire and preserved what others tried to destroy. I have carved your name on the palms of my hands, and no force on earth or in hell can erase it. What I planted in secret I am now unveiling in the open, and no enemy can stop what I have authored. Chosen one, as this decree is spoken, every lie that ever tried to define you is broken. Every curse spoken over your destiny is dissolving under the weight of divine truth. What heaven has blessed, hell cannot curse. What heaven has sealed, no human power can undo. The silence that once surrounded you was never abandonment, it was preparation. Now that the season has ended, you are no longer hidden, you are no longer bound. The Spirit of God is breathing upon every dormant seed within you, commanding it to rise. In the authority of heaven, this is declared over you now. Every locked door is opening. Every buried promise is breaking through the ground. Every gift heaven placed inside you is awakening like fire in your bones. The shadows that tried to smother you are fleeing, because light has claimed you as its own. The time of delay has ended. The scroll of your destiny is being unrolled, and your name is written on every line. Stand firm in this moment. You are standing on holy ground. This territory has been waiting for your arrival. What others forfeited, you will inherit. What others abandoned, you will redeem. What others broke, you will rebuild, not in your own strength, but clothed in the strength of the one who sends you. Let this be your vow. I renounce the ashes of who I was. I embrace the mantle heaven has placed upon me. I accept the weight of my calling. I will walk as one who is chosen, crowned, and sent. I will not disappear. I will rise. Chosen one, this is heaven's final decree. You are commissioned, you are crowned, you are sent. The heavens bear witness. The earth will respond. Step forward. The era of your silence is over.